So I am starting a webinar, shop drawing for precast concrete in Revit. My name is Valensas Balsevičius. I was structural engineer. Now I am BIM application engineer here in aga-cad. We create solutions and sell them worldwide based on the user's experience. And we try to just eliminate unnecessary tasks, make it more efficient to use Revit to create your models and documentation, and switching to all the other stuff what you get from BIM solutions. So here's the range of our tools. So we have Smart Browser, which is to manage libraries, to change parameters of your libraries and so on, then insert Excel sheets, then another tool to cut openings if you have MP models, Revit or IFC models, then MEP hangers for MEP guys, then wood framing, metal framing solutions, and then I'll talk today about Precast Concrete, actually, and most of the time about Smart Assemblies. So Smart Assemblies is actually inside of a Precast Concrete, so you can buy this add-on as a separate solution, or inside the Precast Concrete it will be available as well. All right, so let's switch to another slide. So we are authorized developer and we are industry partner for Precast Concrete with Autodesk. So we developed this solution couple of years already, and what we'll cover in this webinar is that some features of Precast Concrete, so just to model elements and then create drawings with all the automated dimensions, legends, schedules, sheets, and so I will run through this, and maybe in the end I will just run through these like a couple of things you might want to know about Smart Assemblies, and this is it. We can switch to Revit, and so this is, now you should see my Revit window. I hope you do. So if you don't, so drop me a message. I'll try to see what can I do about it, but should be fine. So now I have the sample project where I have a couple of walls created. Not this one, but okay, so that's not the project I want to show you. This is my development project. This one is the one I want to share with you today. So this is a sample project. So I have a couple of walls already created. I have here sandwich walls, and here in the middle I have massive walls. So I already splitted them actually with the Smart Wall solution which I have in Precast Concrete. So we have many rules how to create these panels, how to split actual walls into the separate walls. So I splitted them in such a way that they are disconnected at the ends, but in the corners they are still connected. And today I decided to use different approach than usually. So I will use actually wood framing product to create precast walls. So just you can do that in different kind of ways, but today I would like to share with you this kind of maybe future potential workflow. So I have these walls. So what I will do, I will select them and walls, okay, and then I will run this wood framing product to insert structural framing elements into the walls. So it has configurations where you can define what kind of structural framing element should be inserted and where it should be inserted. So it can automatically find connections between walls and just drop them. You see here's one placed, another one here, and it's just running through all the walls and finding different situations and placing based on that structural framing elements. So let's continue to insert them, and then I will show you how does it look in the configurations, and at least maybe zoom in a little bit to take a look. All right, so yeah, so that's structural framing element, which I can make any kind of section over here, right? And if I'll show you configuration, there are different kind of settings how to create these elements. It could be just simple layout in one direction, it could be horizontal elements, it could be it could recognize different kind of connections and then insert, rotate structural framing elements and so on. So this is really a very good developed solution, but it's used for wood framing. But I think we could apply that for precast concrete as well, because there are some still questions how to model sandwich walls or how to model them efficiently in Revit. So anyway, how does it look in the 3D view? You can see these, they go from top to the bottom of my wall. So basically we have different kind of settings for the offsets and so on if you want to. What I will do now, I will select these elements. Yeah, let's see like this, and then I will split parts. So actually now today I will use parts instead of walls. So this is quite new to me as well. So but we will see. I think that's also quite a good thing, because it could help you to work with miter joints and so on. And in this case, what I did here is that if we'll take a look, you see the tool automatically cut a part with these structural framing elements. As well, it made these extensions in the corners at the ends. So now I have these extensions, and also they are cut like that, right? So I had this kind of stuff created. So I think that's pretty good, but I didn't select these two walls because I wanted to show you they have additional layer. These walls, they have additional layer which I called brick. Actually, that's material, right? So let me show you, let's say, split parts. So I made just additional configuration. Just like to see the possibilities a little bit about it. So let's run it. Oh, I actually should have done one more thing for these walls. Okay, so we will do that. But yeah, we can wait for this one, because it's creating many different parts to create bricks. So instead of using patterns or something else for bricks like phase-based families or something else, so you can maybe split them into parts and get different like results, right? You can have a quantity and I don't know, areas and so on. What I forgot to do is that additionally, what I will do for these walls, let me just select these, and I will additionally place secondary frames, because you can actually add many frame layers in these walls by using this tool, but that's for now. Let's just use these. I have used diagonal ties, so just created a family based on standard structural framing template. So here I have it. Yeah, it looks like this. So I have them here, I have them above and below openings. So I have some kind of rules how to insert them, right? And actually one more thing I would like to do is that I wanna, let me select this one and say split again. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you that you can actually use these diagonal ties to split your, this is insulation layer, and I want to split them also into separate segments, like insulation plates, or how to call them. So it's running again for this, and then so what I get here, you see I have these insulation layers also splitted at the position of these diagonal ties. So that's the things I would like to share about modeling. But basically, okay, do I switch to, yeah, I want to switch to parts again, so it will be easier for me to select the walls. Okay, so let's do this, and we will use another tool from Smart Connections. It's from Precast Concrete, so it's the Smart Connections. Okay, so this tool, I can use it from this Tools for BIM doc, or I can use it from here. So I'll just insert elements, grout, tubes, or this configuration. So I will choose one configuration, how to place different kind of face-based or line-based families on my parts. So this tool, it has like settings, configurations where you can set up how they should be placed, where they should be placed, and what kind of families should be placed. I'll show you this a little bit later, maybe how does it look, this configuration window, if you haven't seen that yet. So you see what happened here is that I got these elements now. So if I have intersection with another part, I have this element. Then if that's the end, so I have this one. If again intersection and so on. So I have these kind of elements. If I'll click on one of them, I will show you how does it look, the configuration window. So that's the way it looks. So I have here line-based families and point-based families, which I can insert with this tool, and I can use it on parts, on walls, floors, and so on, right? So I pick the family which I have in the project. So it's I have quite different families in this project, right? Plates, whatever I need for precast connections, and then I say that it should be distributed in that direction, in that direction. I can also search different kind of conditions, for example, part joints, or other elements crossing, or other elements nearby, and I can place this element based on those conditions. As well, I can apply a couple of configurations on each element. So I can select them, let's say again, and insert another one. So it allows to be more flexible, because maybe you have some complex elements, situations that sometimes some elements will be fit perfectly, others will have to be modified maybe for some reason, right? Because these are simple Revit families, so it means that you can, I don't know, later copy them or change them, the location of them anytime, right? So but at least they are in a good position already, created, dropped on your elements, and then you can just adjust based on the situation if something is not perfect. So also I made this kind of configuration so that these will be smaller under the window, this will be bigger where there's no window. So different kind of stuff you can do. You can also read information from your elements, like I was reading thickness of a part, so just to adjust the size of my grout tube at the bottom of the wall, and so on. So this is the Smart Connections tool. Really just short introduction to it, and then we can, I think we can hide this one, and now we could use Smart Assemblies to create shop drawings, but Smart Assemblies will give a name to assembly based on the mark of the host, and in my case my walls, let me just switch again to both visibility of parts and walls. So this is part, and then I click on tab, and then I have wall. So wall, it doesn't have any mark value over here, so I want to add this before creating assemblies. Maybe I'm just gonna actually change to original, so it will be much easier to tag them. All right, so I'm just gonna drop a couple of tags here for walls. Okay, so it's show me just question mark because we just mark value is empty, right? So what I'll do, I'll select these walls, check none, and select walls, and then I'll go to Sort Mark tool, renumber elements, and I have element numbering, and then I can say that I will use a mark parameter where I want to put information. And here I have grouping, filtering, numbering options. So based on which parameters number will be created, then what should be the order of sorting, and then what should be where it should start numbering, what should be the prefix. I can save these configurations and use anytime. So I'm just going to click on OK. I applied this for only selected walls, but I could select only these walls or all walls in the project and have different kind of configurations. But now that's what I get, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So the numbers, this one will be 5 and so on, and 6 and so on. So it depends what is my settings I have. I can also use sequence, like clicking on the walls and renumber them. So different kind of good stuff here to renumber them, and then start creating assembly. So I will select this wall. It has mark number W2. So what I will do, I'll say, okay, so it has configurations where you define what kind of views. Okay, so you define what kind of views do you want to create, what kind of schedules you can create, and what kind of sheets you can create, and the different kind of other options. So for views, you can define view type, view name, view template, dimension rules. You can insert gravity points and so on. What I will do, I will just duplicate this one, and we will create our new configuration. So and we'll try to apply this, but I'm not gonna make any changes, and we will see what's the result if we'll okay, it just deselected this one. So create, and you'll see what's the result if we use standard configuration. So I'm gonna click on create, and it will just actually what it will do, it will add all hosted details. It will calculate assembly mass based on the element material and element volume and so on. So okay, I have created that one. Okay, so here is my assembly. One bad side of this new workflow is that it didn't get these automatically into my assembly because they are not hosted on the wall. They are just like floating here. So what I will do, actually, I will add them just manually, so we could have full wall. So probably okay. And yeah, one more thing actually happened. So I don't know why, but these parts seem to be not added to assembly, so I will add them manually as well. So for this corner wall, somehow it does that. So this is pretty new for me. So anyway, I hope we will later on maybe develop something into that direction. Okay, so I have it like that, and what I will do now is that I'll go here, and you see a couple of views created. So I have front view, which gives me a couple of dimensions, the total measure. Then I have this opening dimension, and then something else. What is that? Oh, so that's it's giving me dimension for these elements inside. They are not visible because my view template is pretty bad over here. This one standard, which comes with a Revit template for structural template. All right, so that's front view. This is left view, something like that, right? I got some kind of dimensions for details, but it's not really perfect. I would like to change that. Also, schedules are not really what I want. So what I will do, I will actually go here, and then I will say that I will just create duplicate view, and I will start building up some visibility settings. So the first thing what I will do, I will remove current template, none, and I will change the scale because it's not really what I want, 30. Then I don't see these structural connection families, so I will set this to all. So visibility is much better now. What else? So I see now actually wall, and what I want to see is parts, because I want to see And you see now the parts, they are bigger because I have extensions over here where the parts are bigger than the wall, or hard to say. And then what I will do now is that I'm gonna create a couple of view templates. So okay, I think that's fine, but we'll create a view template which will be called M30. So I'm using metric units, but of course you can use imperial. And okay, so this is scale and then the bearing layer. Okay, so I'm gonna call it like this, but what I will do, I will create filter for that. So I'll add filter, new filter, and new filter. So I'm just basically using now Revit, only okay, only bearing parts. So I will call it like this. Go here, select parts, and then I will say that I will use thickness does not equal to the bearing layer of thickness, which is 150. So it means that I wanna switch off visibility of all other parts except okay, I didn't apply that, so I'm gonna select this one and apply. So now I have only bearing layer visible. Okay, and yeah, let's create another one. So I'm just gonna use another one, and I will say that insulation parts. Okay, then I'll go to filters. I will say that add filter, new, and then I'm gonna copy this one as well. Just rename it. Can I rename it like this? Insulation parts, and okay. And then I will say that thickness is not equal to 220 because this is the thickness of my insulation. And okay, so this one actually I will remove, and this one will leave it like this. Click on OK, and then the last one is for the bricks, because I will have free views where I want to see different kind of things. Bricks, I'm gonna call it like that. All right, so we'll go to the filters one more time, add new, and copy of this one and rename it, and bricks, and okay, and then thickness is 15. Okay, and then bricks, and then remove this one, and bricks, and okay. Oops, not okay. Oops, I forgot to switch that off. Right, should be better now. So you see, I see now only bricks, and if I will apply another one like insulation, so I have only insulation elements over here. So I think that's pretty good. Now maybe we should actually create one more, because we want to see everything, like M30 all. I'm gonna call it just all. Remove all the filters and click on OK. All right, so that's the one. All right, so I will apply all of these filters to my views. So a couple of things actually what I want to change in this configuration already is that I want to have detail section B, so that's vertical section. I'll call it section A, right? So this will be my vertical section. Then this is the front view, top view. Instead of elevation left, I will create detail section A, and I will call it insulation. And another one, which will be called bricks. All right, so maybe I can move it a little bit down, down, down. So maybe this kind of stuff. Then for bricks, I will use, now I have these view templates, right? So for bricks, this one. For insulation, I have this one. For bearing, for the front view, I will use this one. For the top, I will use all, and then for section as well, I will use all. So this kind of stuff, just to create views with good view templates. For 3D view, I have already created one, so I'm just going to apply that. Then I will say I want to insert gravity point. In the front view, I want to see sections, and I want to measure, I want to see gravity point as well in the front view. And one more thing what I don't like is that the front view now gives me the exterior side of the wall. And this is not okay. I wanna make this one from internal side. So I will use this option, and then it will just add this to yeah, rotation will be different of a view, direction of a view will be different. Okay, so that's what I want to do. And actually let's create the schedule as well, because now it's not what I want. So I will go to parts. I will use category to filter out elements which I want to equals to, and it's equals to structural connections, and sort by so I wanna have type name instead of type, yeah, instead of family and type name. So that's the thing what I want, and I want to sort them. I don't want to itemize them. What else? I don't want to have this one. So that's something what I want to have. So I'm gonna hide this one, and maybe I'll change some alignment here. And what I would like to do before I create a schedule view template is that I will drop it on the sheet, because it looks a little bit different in the schedule view than on the sheet. So now I'm pretty sure that everything is on the list. So I'm gonna remove it from the sheet, but I will go to the schedule, back to schedule, and then I will say that create view template from the view. Okay, so this will be hosted details. I'll call it like that. And that's it. So now we can also apply that into the shop drawing configuration. So let's go here, schedules, and then part list, view template, which I have created, and that's the one, right? And I can have more. I already have created a couple of view templates. So this one, like concrete volume. Also, it's good because you can have concrete volume for the internal part and for external part, I think, when you use parts. So that's pretty good. Actually, yeah, you can do that for walls as well. If you use walls, if you use material takeoff, you can get pretty much the same result. So all right, assembly mass, I'm gonna call it like this. I will add a couple of more schedules. All right, and then let's say this is bricks, and this one is okay, view template, because the instance it's an actual schedule from the project. But now when we have templates, so I think it's better to use templates all the time instead of this one. And it doesn't like if we have same templates applied. So all right, save the sheet. I have title block, just selected one of them. Again, this is Revit family, so it could be any kind of template family, right? So let's okay, I'll delete actually that one. Maybe I don't need that. And let's update by DC. So update by latest drawing configuration settings. It's going to apply everything what I had, all these scales and so on. So we will have a 3D view now, right? So that's the settings what I had in my 3D view template. Then I have a brick layer. Okay, this one, I see these structural framing elements, so actually I don't want to see them. I can just simply hide these structural framing element. All right, then I have this front view where is a bearing layer. I have location of sections. I can reduce, let's say, the size of section if I want to. and change the position, and the tool will remember that. What else? So we have this view, then we have this installation view. This is, again, it has this structural framing elements which I forgot to switch off, so we can do that now. You see, so now I have only these installation elements created, and the section, and the, yeah, so I have now breaks. You see the height or length, however you call them, and the count, and concrete volume for the internal external side, hosted details, and I have insulation as well in the same manner, and then I have just one cell for the mass. All right, so that's okay, but I don't have any dimensions, right? So let's go to dimensions part. So I'm just going to duplicate this view, and I will use it like a playground to create dimensions. To create dimensions, I would go to Smart Dimensions, then go to Configurations, and then I have this kind of settings where I will create new configuration, rename it, and I will call it like this, for example. Okay, so this is I have a lot of settings here how to dimension elements. So first thing, what I have in this view, I have structural framing elements, so I want to dimension these. I have structural connection elements, so I want to dimension these, and I have part, wall part. So like a host is the part. So whatever is the host, I should go to that category and select to include in total measure. If I'm working with beams, I should use this one, right? If I work with walls, I should go to this category. So for parts, I'll do that. I will not tell to dimension parts, but it just tells the software that I want to measure from the edges of this element to other elements, and that dimensions should be outside this element. So what else do I have? So I have structural framing elements in this view. So I will say that I have grouping filtering options over here, right? So I will group them by type, dimension lines by type. Then I have nodes, so I can define what kind of nodes do I want to have. Then I create dimensions. So you can include some information, right? And then there are horizontal, vertical elements in section, different options, right? So in my case, they are vertical in the view, in this view. So what I'll do, I'll go here and I will say I want to have horizontal dimension, and it will snap to selected position. So I can snap to solid edges in the structural framing element. I can snap to location line, to model lines, to reference planes, some special options for framing solutions mostly used. So I will select this one, and then I will say where to place dimension. So it could be at the bottom, top, or by element, so to the nearest side, or by measure. But by measure it would be at the location of element, and when I have multiple elements, it's not so often to use that option. Then I have dimension styles. I'll pick this one. I will say that I want to include description parameter in the node. The same I will do for the vertical dimensions, but I will measure this time top and bottom edges. Then I will say by element, I will use the same dimension style, and description, this one. So this will be my nodes, right? So let's test, does it work? Click on OK and run dimension elements in this view. So I can apply this configuration in any view. I can go to plan view, to elevation view, to assembly view, and I can apply it, right? So first of all, we will create this smart dimensions configuration, then we will add this configuration to smart assemblies, and then we'll get to the result we want. All right, so that's what I get here. You see the node gives me the description, which comes from this element, right? If we'll take a look to description over here, so I have this information in the node. So it could be anything actually. And then I have yeah, it's just measuring the position of these lines, and then the horizontal lines also gives me the position of these structural framing elements. I also have this total dimension, but I will remove it. I will use it from Smart Assembly. So here's the total measure position, so I'm just going to remove it. I don't want to use it. Another thing what I want to dimension is a phase-based element. So I will choose again some options, right? I have here common settings where I can say the grouping, the filtering options, the dimension style for the connections. So I will choose this one. Then text note, so similar to that one, what I had for the structural framing elements. I'm just picking up the values which I want to use, and then I can define the rules. So basically for precast we use front faces, vertical faces, horizontal faces. So these elements, these tubes, they are on the horizontal face. So it means I should go to this tab if I want to dimension these. Well, I have here small details. So they are on the front face, and then these loops, they are on the vertical side faces. So I can go to any of these and say that I want to measure them, right? So I want to measure them to location point on the front faces. Then I'm gonna select these, make by element, so dimension will be to a nearest side, and then include some information about them that I'm dimensioning. I will save it, click on OK, and what will I get? So I get this additional dimension. You see, it's measuring this element. It's giving me the type name of it over here in the node, and this one is the same. It gives me the position of that one. So this is one of the things, right? Then I would like to show you that actually all of these elements, as I said, they are phase-based families which you can create, you can download from the manufacturer and so on. But what I will do, I will drop a couple of these over here, and I will recalculate assemblies. So it will add, actually it will not do anything to the drawings, but it will add only elements and recalculate mass of the assembly. So I have this assembly mass recalculated, and these two new hosted elements added to my wall. Maybe I'm just gonna align them a little bit. It will be a little bit nicer. So let's just align them like that. And then I will update because they are on the front view, they will be measured now. So the problem is that I have now everything on one line. So I will modify this one, and I will say that I want to group dimensions, and I want to group them by type. Click on OK. So what happens now, I have 3 dimensions instead of 1. One for this small detail, this one goes to plates, and this one actually is not the dimension I want, because this one is dimension nested families inside that plate family. So I don't want to measure that, I want to measure just the plate. And actually plate is measuring to location point, so but I want to measure top and bottom faces. So what I would do is that I can say like I will copy this one, and then I prepare configurations. I will say that well, I want to, oops, I didn't say that. Maybe. Okay, so I will say that I want to apply filter. So if it's equal to, the type is equal to this, so click on OK, measure that, and then you see now the plate is not dimensioned at all. But we want to measure that, so we'll go back to configurations again. We'll go to second part, and then we'll say that well, the type should contain and welda, maybe, right? And then I will say that it could be grouped by type. It should have some notes as well. So I need to run through this process again. And Oops, sorry. I'm working on the structural framing elements. So I was thinking, what is wrong with these settings? Okay, so it doesn't matter. Let's go a little bit back here. So dimension 2, group by type, text nodes. Yeah, okay, like that. One more time. And front faces. So I want to measure these plates, and they will be left and right, bottom and top in this case. I don't want to measure to the location point. I want to measure to the bottom and top faces, and I want to include some information about them, right? Is that correct now? So filter, I forgot to say that it contains, well, that should be like that. I think that's the name of my plate family. So yeah, I got this dimension. Over here is just that I selected wrong dimension style maybe, because it goes across my wall. So one more time, change this, but diagonal, and that's it. Now the next thing I want to measure is these horizontal guys. So for these I will use, for example, different dimension style. I will use this one. I will say group by type. I will say do not place text nodes, or actually I will not group them by type. I'm just gonna place this dimension, and I will snap to location point and place by element. Oops, it's a front faces, sorry about that. I'll need to go here and then just horizontal this dimension, and then snap location points, and then place dimensions by element. So I think that's it. I can add as many tabs here as I want. I have or actually no, I can have just 10 of them. So yeah, that's the way it should be. Okay, click on OK, and then I will get some additional dimensions. All right, so I have these now. Why do I have these as a separate ones? Let's take a look to the third one. I didn't group them in any case at location point like that. Did I choose here something? No. Okay, ordinate and no, and horizontal. So maybe I actually, when I did copy this one, actually it was copying already with settings when I click on this one. So yeah, that's the way. So next, actually this is new feature. So it was in the latest update applied. So instead of having 3 options, you have now 10 options to create dimensions and different styles. So okay, it doesn't look really nice because but Smart Assemblies will fix that. It will adjust all the settings, a little bit of the nodes position and dimension positions, but at least it's dimension what I want in this view. If I'll go to the installation, oops, this is schedule. Why don't, so this one is the name. I have also prepared here another dimensioning style. So this is that one. Then I click on this one. It will place dimensions on the parts. So the way I created these dimensions is that I selected parts, but as well I selected to measure parts, left and right edges and top and bottom of parts. So that's how I get these dimensions. I'm just gonna delete these. Oh, actually one more thing. Maybe I can show you over here. Let's modify this one, and I will show you this option, which is called this is also new, part openings. So I will try to apply that. So I have opening for window, and I will say I want to measure this, and I want to place, let's say, dimension at the position of opening. So that's why I use this option by measure. Okay, so that's the way it should work. Let's see. Yep. Now I have these dimensions. All right. So, okay, maybe one more time. I'm just gonna change this dimension style. I forgot to change it so it will be nice in the same style everywhere. Okay, so next what we will do, we'll now implement this smart dimensions into smart assemblies. So smart assemblies has dimension rules for each view, right? But dimension rules are here, and this is the standard settings. So what I will say, I will duplicate this and I will say create okay, front view bearing. Okay, so that's the name of dimensions. And then you have settings how to dimension openings here. We've been using these two previously, but now when we have smart dimensions in the we can just use smart dimensions configuration instead of using these, so I'm just gonna skip those. Then you have reinforcement dimensioning options, some other options, what should be dimensioned, what kind of nodes should be created. So you can select what you want to have here, but maybe I'm just gonna, actually it's pretty good to dimension most of the things with smart dimensions, when you can dimension openings as well with smart assemblies with this dimension rule. But now as we have this one, I selected to use some configuration, so I think that's good. Now the nodes, it could be like connected dimension lines, and the nodes on the left or just on the right or selected position. But I found this one is pretty good because it's quite clear to see the nodes, the positions, and so I use this option. So I'm gonna save this and I will apply this to the front view. All right, actually we can apply that to other views as well, but it's not gonna be perfect, but at least something will be created. For bricks I will skip that, but here I have another dimension rule where I applied already that configuration which I showed you for the measuring of parts. I think we get, so one more thing, actually you can use legends. You see, you can select legend and you can say which legend should be, it's not created, but it's it will know that you want to place legend on the sheet. And I will show you a little bit later. So at least one thing, if you want to apply legend to the sheets, you need to select it here. All right, so let's do it like this. Then, okay, so this view is not necessary anymore. And let's try now. So the front view, it looks like that now, without actually any dimensions. And what we will do, we'll update by latest dimension configuration. And yeah, it will run through all the process. It will analyze again all the geometry here, all the elements, and it will apply those. So all right, so that's created now. So it looks much better than it was in with smart dimensions only, because smart assemblies will fix the position of these elements and make good use of offsets of dimension styles. It will use this parameters to define where is the location of the dimensions and so on. So, but that's, I get all the dimensions what I have been working on. So I have is all of these elements created. Okay, but I think what I didn't do, I didn't create one dimension. Just quickly run through it. Apply this one dimension, and I think I forgot to use this one. Yeah, this one is it not dimension now? Yeah, I think I missed this one. Actually, yeah. So this is on the vertical side face. So I think I can do that with this one by type this dimension style, and should be on the vertical sides. and then vertical dimension and location point, and then by element, and then maybe include some information about it. But I'm gonna select this information as well. Okay, so that should be better now. Let's try that. So only vertical. Yeah, so I got this one. All right, so now it's better, but delete this one. Actually, we should update before we place views on the sheet, just to apply all the latest changes what I have. Okay, so let's just wait a little bit until the tool will update this wall, because then when I create first assembly, I will place all the views on the sheet, and then I will use that sheet as a sheet template for other assemblies. So it's important to have the latest version of assembly and the views in the template assembly. So what I do here, I will go here and just drop these views on the sheet. So it takes some time to create this. When you buy the software, you get the training, so I run through the process in more details as well, and you will, okay, so we'll just drop these. You will learn to use it, and mass, so drop it here, and then let's say you'll spend 2 or 3 hours working on the configuration, right? So you will create view templates, you will create maybe dimension styles which you need, maybe you didn't have them, oops, not that one. So different kind of stuff you need to complete that, but I think it's worth it, because for every next panel it should save time for you, right? So now I'm just dropping these views, I'm creating my view template at the same time. So legend, I have it here. So this is legend. So legend could be any kind of node or any kind of 2D detail, right? So maybe some standard elements which you want to have on each sheet. Okay, so when I do this kind of stuff, I will go to shop drawing configuration, and I will say sheets, and I will say this sheet now will be my sheet template. So it means that when I create new assemblies, it should follow follow the same layout. Okay, so I see only parts in this view, so I'm gonna switch to both. Select wall, select another wall, and create assemblies, and then apply this configuration. So let's just create assemblies. So now if you do that and click with Revit, create assembly, you will get one assembly, and you will have just 2 walls inside. And what this tool will do, it will create 2 assemblies, and it will add all the hosted details automatically into assembly, and then of course apply all the view templates and so on. So however you create actually your walls, you can use generic model families. What I see some clients do, you can use walls instead of parts. What I did today, you can apply that on beams, on floors, on double T, whatever you have actually, on hollow core slab, right? So and dimension that. And actually there is one question that, can you do shop drawings in aluminum facade? For facade, I would recommend to use another product which is called curtain wall. It's you can find some information on our webpage, right? So products, and you should be able to find curtain walls, and there are more information about it. It has different tools for that. Also, it can create shop drawings. So it can help you, yeah, it can help you model them with all the gaskets and whatever you have there. And then it can also help you create shop drawings. Also, you can use Smart Assemblies as well. At least we have a couple of clients who use Smart Assemblies and Sort Mark to renumber elements. So yeah, it could be applied that. All right, so what happened here, now I have two assemblies. You see, we have hosted elements, element mass calculated over here, and I will go here to the sheet, straight to the sheet, and this is the result. So I have all the dimensions applied, I have these views, except somehow I didn't get the bricks. Okay, so I don't have bricks actually. I have this view over here, but it's not visible because I don't have brick parts in my view. That's why I don't see it. But I clearly see this note legend, so it's applied over here. Yeah, the schedules didn't show what I have in that previous wall, but that's because I didn't split that into the parts. Okay, so that's the way it is, right? So I think it's pretty good automation. Then you need to work out on other views, right? What do you want to dimension in this view? What do you want to dimension in this view? But it will take a little bit more time than we have spent on this webinar. But that's the idea, and I hope you get that message. Maybe what I have actually in this one, I have created actually floors as well. You didn't see them because I have hidden them, but I was using floor panel layout tool, and I have created these floors over here. So let me just isolate these. So I have like a solid walls here. So Smart Connections tool is also it also could be used on different kind of elements. For example, I will apply this I will just place one element on each of the panels. So I just placed them based on gravity point of each floor. So we'll see if this is more dense, this is not so dense. If I'll show you configuration settings, this is like place this one on the top of the floor element, right, by gravity point of that element, with some relative distance between them in one direction, in another direction, and I have 2 tabs for that, so that's why I get 8 of these elements. So when I have that, I can also renumber them with Sort Mark tool, right? So as I said, this tool works with any category actually for renumbering, like oops, I selected connections instead of floors. So so let's do that. Element numbering and mark and okay, and then okay, these are hollow core slab configuration, but doesn't really matter so much. I'm just gonna add random marks to these. So some of them will have same mark values in this case, but I have it here already. So now let's say you can quite quickly modify configurations and adapt them to something else, right? For example, I will say duplicate and floor, and then I'll say that I don't want to have section over here. Maybe I don't want to have front view. Maybe I want to have just actually I can just turn them off, and I can say that okay, schedules, I don't want to have these schedules maybe, but this is my configuration, right? I'm gonna apply the same dimension rules, and just to test that, we can go to level 2 maybe. Do we have these? It's not so clearly visible. So the probably visibility is turned off for the details. All right, then as I said, you can apply this tool anywhere. So for example, oops, not selected, but all of elements, for example, I will say dimension. Nothing will happen probably because I don't have parts. Okay, so happened something, but it's not really what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do is that select these. I want to go to configuration and then make one small change. So I need to select floor, if I want to, because in this case floor is my main element, so I need to select this to be able to apply the same configuration, right? So all right, so let's just do that with okay, 3D view, not this 3D view, that 3D view. So select this one and create, and then same configuration, click on OK, and it should create assembly with selected number of views, and should apply the same configuration which I have used on the wall. But let's take a look if it will give us any kind of stuff. So it will not give us, because I have or will it? Let's take a look. Oh, actually I got these because I have used the same family, you see, so I have filter to measure these families. So you see I have total measure for the floor, I have dimension for the position of elements, and I didn't actually use any other dimension rules, right? So it's about how to dimension elements with position in the views. So it means that if you create dimension rule, you can apply that for the floors, maybe for the beam, for a column, maybe with some adjustments and so on. So that's the idea of these tools. I hope we can finish today, but if you have some, you can always contact us in our webpage, or just dropping an email. We can make live demo one-on-one, just talk about it, talk about your needs, and explain any questions you'll have. So thank you for your time, and have a good evening or day for you. Goodbye.
aga-cad, building BIM together.